We are playing for $150. Good luck. Some of them will be slow. They'll be
Maybe here later.
yeah. 9. That's it. Top 9. They'll show up when they get here. We start at 7:30.
Probably red rum is one.
Yeah, he's gonna be here closer to 8:30ish, 9.
What do you want?
25.50.
The other one is hemoglobin. With 90.
Bala, where's Bala? It's on you, Professor. Yep.
Who's catching up with where we are? Yeah, I'll come.
Are you done? All right, bet 250. $250, Professor.
On behalf of
No problem. If I don't make it, I'll deal it. All right, Professor. Full. Full. All right, 250's bet. All right. Thank you. Check, check. 250. All right. Take it easy. $250. $550.
You understand? No. That thing.
That thing.
Flush.
Oh my god, I think I've been on mute the whole time. All right. Welcome to Firefly's April monthly game. Game that we use to reward players for their performance over the past month. We do play bar league style poker 3 nights a week, Sunday, Mondays, and Tuesdays. And this is our reward for players who have finished in the top 9 overall. We do track points each night, but our monthly rewards players who play a lot and play well. Over the past month, and we invite the top 9 out to play. As you can see right now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players who came out, so still waiting on 4 more players to make it here, but we did start promptly at 7:30. I found the time to talk to you guys on mute for the past probably 6 or 7 minutes. And Doug getting lucky here. Definitely has to start betting. And just the icing on the cake for Doug, who interestingly found Jack 10 offsuit as a re-raise. I do hope everyone can hear me. And this mic is giving me a little feedback, but hopefully I'll keep you guys entertained and informed. Doug picking up a nice one to make some money back from his slight misstep against Kumar. One of the things we do try to do for our, do for our players is that we do play here with a big blind ante. You're going to see that in almost every tournament you play, whether it be out in Vegas, following the WPT, following the World World Series of Poker. Almost every single one of their tournaments will be big blind ante. So one thing we have done for our players is increase our starting chip stacks. We used to start with approximately 10,000. Now we start with 18,000 chips. And what that allows us to do is give them a little more play. And kind of the compromise they have to make is we charge a big blind ante so we can get out of here in a reasonable amount of time. Like I said, we are a bar league poker experience.
If you want that fan right there, if you want to turn it off, because I just noticed it's oscillating and it's on. So.
There, I think I got the mic to work a little bit better. All right, I'm back in it. Oh, I like the 8-6 suited one gapper. Kind of surprising here. King Jack once again, and this is a do as I say, not as I do. I'd really like him to re-raise with the King Jack suited if he's going to play it there. Kind of assert your dominance in the hand, take control. Professor, even though he's behind, flops huge. Gut shot, straight draw. Both cards are live, plus a flush draw. Sitting pretty here. One of the cool things about our features, I think the cards at the top, the ones that are grayed out, are ones that are no longer available. So our system does keep track of all the players' cards. And then, once again, I think this is one where Professor just keep barreling, make it uncomfortable. Alex should never have a big ace here. 500 might be a little on the small side. Thought it was 9 before that. You have to ask yourself, it works here because Alex was drawn pretty thin, but neither one of them. Well, Alex has more deuces, but I don't expect to have a deuce there. But nice to see Professor kind of stay on the aggression. But what might have been the worst best hand at the time. See Rachel there reaching out. The tables here, I think, are 9 feet tables. But it's one of those things where it's super important. This is a message out to all of you poker players out there. If you're in if you're at the end of the table, help your dealers out. Professor, staying on the aggression. Ace-6 suited might be a nice hand. This is where you have to know your players. I'd probably fold the Ace-6 if Professor was opening to a smaller size, say something like 150, 125, something a little more 2.1-ish, 2X's. Start to 2.1 here, just based on the actual chips we have, but a little smaller. You might fit Ace-6 into your bluffing range. Yes, it is a bluff, but you're probably bluffing with the best hand. For those of you that are interested, we do stream on a 10-minute delay. You probably won't see it tonight, but sometimes if you watch during our weekly games, you can see players who are checking out the live stream as they play. Hey, Swami, how are you, buddy? Long time, man.
All right.
One of the
King Jack.
I used to be a manager here at Firefly Grill and Bar here in Alpharetta, which is where RF Poker is located. We have a dedicated poker room in the back. I'm hanging out in the main restaurant area. If you are in the area, come check them out. They have wonderful Indian food. For those of you less inclined, you can't ask for it for non-spicy, but what's the fun in that? But as I mentioned earlier, it might have been on mute when I mentioned it. We do play 3 days a week with RF Poker on Sunday, Mondays, and Tuesdays. We always play what we consider a deep stack format. The Atlanta Poker Club plays here on Thursdays and Saturdays. For scheduling for Game Theory, you can go to gametheory.social. And check out the schedule there. Check out the leaderboards. And for Atlanta Poker Club, you can check out atlantapokerclub.com. All right, let's try to make a little more commentary. Hearts is going to be scary for people here. And then kind of glancing for some Alex taking the lead here with the queen, being on the cutoff. Probably suspects no one had an ace. Looking at the size of the pot, it feels like an all limp pot. We are playing with our normal 20-minute blind schedule. One of the cool features that we have here is that we not only do we show cards, whole cards, and betting action, we also show statistics about players, number of times they've entered pots, number of times they've raised, all sorts of cool stuff like that. And one of the other added benefits of playing here at Game Theory is we have an app that tracks 100% of all play.
5 minutes remaining.
One of the cool things about our tables here, and the streaming setup is everything is 100% automated. Our tables use RFID to communicate with the backend system that controls
Are you done? Will you in print? All right, it is on user. Call. There's call. Your option. 250. I don't know if I've heard this. I like it.
all right, and we'll
Like begins there like pop music. Doug, can I get 100?
aggression frequency is one of the new thing. I would say not new, but new I learned about recently, and this is how often you're taking aggressive actions versus passive actions.
Everybody gets chips. Everybody gets chips.
All right, I actually thought lines were up, but I like this. Professor gonna like this. Now, some of the ones earlier, and saying like Ace Rag using the re-raise, 10-9 suited great hand to play in position against, especially against an early position aggressive player. Kind of keep things small until he gets more advantageous check. And then, being two spades in a kind of a draw there, I'd like Professor betting a little bit bigger. Maybe he is targeting something like, can't say Ace Rag, but maybe targeting Ace Rag. Now this is one of those where I don't know
Raise.
why Anirudh is betting here. Kind of once you give up the lead, there is some value in check calling to make your six playable, I guess. And then Professor's not going to go over this. Anirudh once again taking a lead on a hand where he'd given up the lead. I don't know what leading here is accomplishing. Professor hitting Jen with the trip tens.
1,000.
And goes chunky. Now Anirudh has to decide if his six is good here against someone like the Professor. Then he decides it's good. And Professor going to show trip tens for the win. After the flop, ahead the whole way, extracting value from.
Still 20. No, I just gave it to you. Yep.
Let's see here. Player stacks. Everybody's still
Yeah, that
right around their 18K starting. Really, it's only kind of two hiccups. in play so far. Doug giving up a decent amount to Kumar, and then Professor probably getting a lot more value out of his 9-10 than he should have.
All right.
In fact, if you heard Rachel say that we do use RFID, we got, let me try to think, 9, 18, plus 4, 22 antennas in the table, maybe more, maybe less, but if I am not mistaken, we have 24 antennas in the table for reading chips, reading cards. Once again, those read player cards, read player chips, read player bets. Everything here automatically controlling the action thanks to RF Poker. That it's kind of cool to be able to essentially a one-man show that it's just me in the booth commenting on the action. Rachel is the other magic in front of the camera. There's a couple of situations where she helps control cameras and camera angles, but on that same note, on that same note, the only thing when she switches cameras, the only thing that doesn't happen automatically is when players check. She does have to manually move the cameras, but other than that, our automated technology behind the scenes is doing all of the camera work for us, all of the overlays. Makes our job easy to put on a high quality production for you guys. One of the cool things is watching the timing of the camera switching. You can kind of see that it happens automatically with all of Rachel's actions. Putting her cut card down, putting out the flop, putting out the turn, players betting, all changes everything automatically for us. Professor pulling in another big one. One thing I've been really impressed with Professor is, when he probably has the best hand, he's continually putting chips in. So aggression paying off early. We just got new felt this season. If you can tell, there's the bullseyes in front of players. That is where each player is going to bet, and that will read their bets. And there's a shaded area kind of right in front of them, and that's where their cards are read. One of the nice things about it, once your cards are read, you don't have to keep them there. You can play at a comfortable place, but it's kind of natural for your cards to sit right there. Anirudh, 9-3 in the small blind. Limps, Jack 10. Yeah, we're going the cheap route.
We've already started.
Jack 10's probably a raise there. I too would take the chicken route. Now it's a matter of just one of these players taking the lead. I would probably like to see a bet out on Rudy 9-high. Probably not good based on board texture. Kumar's either hit one of the low cards or it's going to win. So I think 9 needs to have a little bet there. All right, enough rambling about the table, enough rambling about the technology. Let's talk about a little bit of poker.
Firefly or necklace. I use both sometimes. You didn't know it starts at 7:30. He's got a watch, a phone, he's got everything.
Alex with 10-8. UTG. I think this one just dumped this one. Doug smartly dumps it. Ace King. It's going to be an easy raise here. I want to see something about. Basically, we're paying 350. 325. King 9 is definitely a fold here. And Professor. King 9 is just going to be hard to play out of position here. I guess it's easy when you flop a 9. This is kind of the debate around here. Playing in flow, 200, 225. You gotta be targeting hands that are just with an ace. unfortunately for Honorud here, they do both share a king, but you flop a 9 here and you lead. You do have to be careful because on this board you're going to need some bluffs to balance out your bets. And here, really the only bluffs you have are probably some diamond draws, but they're also ones you don't want to get bet off of. I expect Kumar to continue betting here if you're going to lead the 9 the first time. I like Anirudh's aggression, but he just has to bet more. If you're betting here to try to get a better hand to fold out, because I think at this point in time, once Kumar leads, you have to know that you don't have the best hand. So if you're going to bet that 10, you have to bet and bet hard. It's got to be something where if you air quotes know Kumar has a 9, put in a healthy bet on the 10. It's easy for you to have ace 10, maybe king 10, queen 10, jack 10. You have a lot of 10s raising on the button. But if you're going to represent them and you think it's beating a 9 that Kumar's betting with, you have to bet big. The 225 just is not.
No, that's the little pie thing.
It's not going to make it uncomfortable enough. All right, King's E. Something getting redundant. Easy raise with. Professor with the. I think we're going to see a lot of people calling in the small blind, even though it's supposed to be when you're probably supposed to play the most aggressive out of. Here's Spencer. That's who I was mentioning earlier, talking about a player. We have multiple leaderboards, and there was a little bit of confusion about what the qualifying for this tournament was. Spencer, give Spencer a shout out here on camera. He is currently sitting in 4th place on Mondays. Unfortunately for Spencer, tonight's tournament is for the top 9 overall for the past month. So I'm going to use my little Nostradamus here, and Spencer has been training with us to be one of our dealers, and I think he's going to step in here and deal for a little bit, give Rachel a break. He's been doing a great job for us as one of our new dealers here. For those of you interested, the players who deal for us actually get a max chip without having to spend any money at the bar.
All right, $375. Do you want to finish this hand? Call. All right, just scoop all the cards together. Bring the ball in.
Morning, guys. Spencer.
Sorry about that. Once again, a little housekeeping. Picking up Professor, this kind of what we were talking about earlier, that betting half pot, making uncomfortable. I don't think either one of these guys can. Oh, Kumar feeling optimistic. They don't really think Kumar can continue. Oh, no. I think Kumar is gonna. Yeah, I think Kumar wanted to bet, but once. From when I saw Professor raised pre-flop, the ace is definitely more on the side of fitting his hand. And 8 of hearts. Now this is one of those where Kumar's, I think, going to try to steal this one. Gives up. Check, check. Professor building pots. All right. Shout out to Bala. Bala has now shown up there in our 4 seat, making us have almost everyone. 6 of the 9 right now. Oh, look at that. My Nostradamus worked. Spencer does jump in there for some dealing time, giving Rachel a little break. One thing that we do rely on here during the night is volunteer dealers. One of our cool stats that we show is raise first end. This is the one that does pretty much exactly what it says. It is tracking when a player is the first person in, how often they are raising as the first player in. You want that number to be higher.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Rachel being threatened with a good time.
Because it'll count.
Followed Queen 5. I think this is the first hand he's played. Got to dump this one. Queen Jack. Now this is back to that raise first end. Kumar about me feeling a little gun shy. So I want to see that Queen Jack open. 9-7 should be a fold either way. And unless something goes crazy, we're going to see this one four-handed. Checks in the big. All right, 2 pair for Honorud. You know, flush draw, straight draws out here in a limp pot. You got to start building it. 500. I like it. I was going to say, it might be a little high, but kind of splitting hairs that I would have bet 400, 425. Like, I like betting amounts. See, for me, it's kind of a psychological thing. At 425, you weren't, in this case, you weren't going to get any calls, but for me, with like odd amounts, unrounded amounts, makes it feel like you put some thought into the bet. Makes players kind of question. You know, kind of makes people makes you think there was a lot of thought into your bet. So, you know, it's one of those where it's like I like 375, 425 over a 400, and it's purely a psychological thing. May or may not work. There's Rachel giving Bala a hard time as she was sitting in, I think she was sitting in 9th place before last night's finish, and Bala then moved into 9th place, bumping her just down a little bit. Alex has been quiet. Expecting to raise here. Probably something in the realm of 300, 325. Doug, you got to be putting in a re-raise here. But, you know, a min raise out of the small blind, not really what you're looking for. You're always getting called. So I'd rather see a chunky bet there, maybe like 1,000, almost 1,200. 4x what the button puts in with Ace King.
See this up.
5 minutes remaining.
Now, once again, if you're going to play it out of the small blind, just go ahead and flop top pair. Especially if you know your opponent has flopped middle pair, he's going to come along for a third pot bet. Alex raises to 15. I don't necessarily know if you need to take the lead here. Good. Give him the old stare down, check. Oh, sorry, I am totally misreading his hand. I thought Doug was on the small blind. I apologize. Doug is on the button. Nice play here. Keep up the aggression. I think it could go bigger. Ace King is almost check raise on the flop's a little scary. Getting check raised there by kings, queens, or deuces. Maybe king, queen. But that's kind of unfortunate. When you got Ace King, I'm not really worried about kings. Now with Alex posturing a bit. I think he does. The gig was up.
When's the best time to move it? Do I move it in the hand or?
Normally, when I push the pot, I also move the button, even if I do one and do the other. Because I drop the hand, I need to muzzle someone's card, or work the pot, grab the button.
Rachel there just going over,
Sometimes it does.
part of coming here and playing and dealing is to, learn poker in an inexpensive, fun environment. That's for both our players and our dealers. Rachel just giving some few pointers there on efficiency. It's always doing what you can to get players as many hands as possible. Pocket jacks. I would be a little critical, but I do think Professor, when he's been raising, has been raising on the larger side. On the larger side, so as long as he's being consistent, I don't think there's anything wrong with his size. Kumar defending really, really wide here. And it'll be interesting to see if Kumar leads. Check. And I have to give Professor credit. He does not shy away from even an overcard. Easy call for Kumar when he flops a pair. I think you're going to see at least one more street. And I think any heart.
So he bet 800.
No one's-
Say he put 2,000 out by
Check. I think, there's a nice slowdown by both players. If it was a heart, I think Kumar could have barreled on it.
of what the previous bet was. It's going to
Ooh, 9. Let's see what that's going to do. Kumar may take a bluff here. Got to be big. 1,500,
Go to double.
unless it's 50%.
225. I think Professor, you crying call here. It's such a low bet. Once again, I think if it's another lesson. If you're going to try to win that one, you've got to just close your eyes and go big. Always easier said than done. But, it's kind of one of those strange situations where you picked an amount that you're probably always getting called, and you had a hand where you didn't want to get called. And that's, back to the whole idea of polarizing bets that
That was good. I figured I would triple barrel.
you didn't put any pressure on players. This one, Professor, that you didn't make him feel uncomfortable. So even if you had the best hand there, obviously if you have the best hand, you want to be called, but you didn't have the best hand, and so you lost value either way. That, now I'm fairly certain Professor would have bet, but you probably would have been better off check calling with the deuce there. Maybe it's a blocker bet. I think someone's cards didn't get read this time around. Alex playing his little suited queen.
Sweet, yeah, you're good.
Waiting on Doug. Looks like he's just gonna give Rachel money for change. Looks like we went multi-way. Ooh, I was gonna say a heart would be scary. Keeping it cheap. Professor thinks he's trying to get. Here's the fun part on this one. Oh, my fault. Professor did have a 5 going it. I get so tunnel vision.
1,300.
I think that this is a nice bet there.
Raise 3,000.
A nice bet, little either inducing a bluff, which is exactly what happened here, or
Does it say 3,000? So does it say it under Alex? Does it say 3,000? No. Close it. The blue.
1,300. It says it's calling. Undo.
Undo. Just hit.
Yeah, there it
There
is.
you go.
Is that common at all?
I mean, sometimes the chips kind of go around it, then you put it back.
it's definitely not gonna work. Cool. Once again, Professor extracting maximum value out of his trips. It's almost not fair so far. Professor onto a nice little lead. Alex, who I will say is probably the most aggressive player. Him and Kumar in the 5C, probably the two most aggressive players. Professor has been aggressive in the right spots tonight.
Nice hand. 200s now.
Earlier I was telling you guys about the card readers.
Sweet, then put your phone on here.
Professor is
Yeah, it's always better for the dealers if the ante is correct and the line can be an overchip. It's easier to make change.
totally blocking out his reader. A couple of quick folds. Kumar. His range is pretty wide. I can get behind the 8-4. Kind of. Once again, probably should be raising to
300 change.
You just need to go back and look at the GTO chart. Probably a loose call or loose open. Alex catches a small piece of this one. Oh, actually, I wouldn't mind if it goes check to put in a check raise with the 6 deuce. You know, you have bottom pair, and a lot of turn cards can help you. Let's see, dodge the system. Now, the only thing I can think there is that bet was a little quick, almost like Kumar already had his mind made up what he was going to do. Yeah, that's one of those situations where hesitating just a little bit is probably better. I don't like giving players any idea that my decision of what I was going to do was made before the card came out. Works in this case. Sorry about that silence. Just getting the last bit of garlic cheese naan, or as Rachel calls it, nom 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 nom. It is quite tasty. All right, another multi-way pod. Only Bala got out of the way. All right, actually, Bala didn't get out of the way. Honorud got out of the way. All right. 2 pair. Must have been a quick check. Doug already ammunition. About half pottish. Bala with, I would consider it lots of potential. I think Professor's got to just dump his middle pair. Don't hate it. Alex, easy decision. 3 deuce. Oh, this is one of those where, kind of scary, but makes an easy decision for Bala. Let's see if he's ready to pull the trigger on the river. King of Diamonds, draw got there, but yours missed. I think Bala's got to put in a big bet there. Doug, if he did have a diamond, was always betting the river. Therefore, you have to feel like the diamond is better for Bala than it is for Doug. Bala played his hand like a draw the whole way. Just not that draw, but kind of one of those things you start to recognize is that, if you appear to be playing a draw, you can't be afraid to bet when another just as likely draw comes in. In fact, I think the diamond draw was probably a more obvious draw.
Pay attention to when.
Pulling that for a ball, it might look like a ball.
Queen 8. Into the mud, Professor. Definitely not afraid to mix it up. Sorry about the yawning. I've been up for a while today.
600.
I like it. I know that says 5,000, but I think it's because player. Back to chips being RFID chips. Our antennas can read up to 30 chips high, so we do run into kind of some issues when players hold multiple chips in their hand, even though that's not the amount they want to bet. Takes a second for the table to settle down.
If we have to break a $5,000 chip right now, would we go to the professor for chips?
But I mean, if somebody, I think it's not maybe. Is that
Battle of the Limpers. Nobody's had anything strong enough to combat them. Doug with ace-3. I want to see like a, it may sound hefty, but a 1,200 bet here.
Holding it on you.
Mark, you need one? Yes.
Always be careful in limped pots. Yeah. I think ace-3 suited here is a nice chunky bet. 1,000, 11, 1,200. Or you could just flop the nuts against a player that flops 2 pair. This one's gonna get big before it is small. 1,100, almost a pot size bet. Defending his bottom 2 pair. I don't hate it, but always you gotta be careful in a limp pot. Doug, mid raise. Well, has to honestly be a little concerned. Now, if while is smart, you're gonna go into check call mode. It is unless you there's not a lot of hands here that the 4 deuces beating Doug with the same bet size.
This is my strongest one. This one, my weakest one, and it goes that way. See, I can be yeah. It's like, woo! I'm like, oh, I can see both of y'all.
All right, Rachel talking about her lazy eye. Bala, advice from the future past. Just dump this one, let it go.
We got a pack when we get home.
Oh, really? Where you going now?
Wednesday,
You ashamed?
we're gonna fly to Seattle, and we're gonna go on our Alaskan
You
cruise.
guys got the suitcase ready at the door.
But my mom came over today, and today was the only day
Yeah.
that I could pack for Gil, so I got his clothes out and I started sorting it. Got some of it done.
Rachel
I just wanted
is packing for me for our Alaskan cruise.
Then Friday I have to work a double. Saturday I drive to Cherokee. Drive back Sunday. Literally we drive back. Drop our friend off, we come straight here. And then on Monday and Tuesday I have to work a double. And then Wednesday we don't need
Yeah, Rachel and I will be going on an early 25th anniversary honeymoon, 25th anniversary trip to Alaska next week. Shout out to Carnival Cruise Line, not a paid sponsor of this broadcast. Doug there sporting an Alaska t-shirt. Actually been giving us some tips and pointers about enjoying ourselves.
Of a big shoe, you know. So, yeah.
Rachel giving shout out to Packing Cubes R Us. Not a real not a real company, not a real sponsor.
Five minutes remaining.
All right, we will be on break in 5 minutes. So you still check them? You still check them?
Oh, you're
Still
gonna be
check them?
cold.
No. You just check. Nothing. Have had check.
Oh,
Boop. Now you can register whatever hand wins.
now it fixes. And yeah.
Who went 10?
Sorry.
More than we will.
How are you killing us? See the hand I folded against you during the break. You want to see the hand I folded against you? The break. No, yours. No, I have to see it. Do they stream?
Yeah.
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 And Gil's commentating.
It's now right now.
Oh, is that?
Yeah. You can watch it right now. It's 10 minutes
10 minutes
late.
later, during the break.
Right. Pull the ante in. Yes, it doesn't count. So, you know, if you're not watching on your phone right now, you can watch it when you get home. And Gil's gonna say what you did right, what you did wrong.
600.
You better grab that money.
Oh, it's mine.
How about that? Chit chat on the side. One of our players, like I was talking about earlier, we are on a 10-minute break, so our players are out here getting some refreshments while I get to comment for 10 more minutes.
All right.
Looking at the hand count, Spencer and Rachel doing a great job coming in on our first break, almost to 30 hands.
It's good because you always break, or you always, when you do that,
Today I had 10-5.
We do big chips first, right?
big chips first.
I learned that lesson yesterday when I started with the
Rachel giving lessons on chop pots,
Alex is playing so good.
but lessons on chop pots, kind of the first lesson there is always tell our new dealers, big chips first.
And I normally always give that out first. So if there was just one extra chip, that you can only divide it with the lowest. Nope. There you go.
skip them and then you get back to it.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. You're gonna hit miss. Hold on. You're gonna hit miss deal. All right, you're good.
Seven of spades.
On route ace king.
Normally I just throw it first, but whatever your lowest denomination, that's as far as down as you
Nice
can.
standard raise to 600.
So like say there were no
600.
greens on
Ooh,
the
6-5
table,
suited.
no
This
black on the table,
suited cards. This is going to get fun.
would be the low,
And you don't go to other players to break it, or you can.
Alex completing the action with deuces here. Standard open and a couple of sneaky hands. Let's see whose sneakery works the best. Alrighty.
You're gonna put that 3
Ooh, excuse me. Got some big yawns. And Professor, once again,
5 minutes remaining.
I lost audio on the table. I lost audio. I'll take a second to listen over on YouTube to see if the audio also goes out there. Plates in the background. All right, you guys a little behind the scenes thoughts of. All right, I'm gonna text tech support
for all 3 months total. It'll be the top 9 Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, 27 players.
All right, and we're back from break. I did have that quick conversation with tech support, and they are going to look into why it appears that our table audio went out about 1 minute before break, but as they assured me, audio did immediately come back once break was over, so good to know those guys are on top of their stuff. If you happen to be interested in, picking up one of our fully automated tables, go check out RF Poker. Give me 1 second. Pretty sure it's .com, but do not want to go to rfpoker.com. You can see plans on how to contact us for picking up some of these cool tables. We are in a bunch of card houses in Texas. I think our last installation was shout out to the Lodge Poker House. Lodge Card Room. That we just installed our antennas and software running their live stream. So kind of cool being there, but also some Texas Card House. A couple other places. If you're interested, go check out rfpoker.com and give our team a shout.
Australian guy, what's his name?
Boy.
Yeah.
I'm having a break for it. 2005. 2005.
What's his name? No, you have to ask.
I'm looking it up. Joe Hashem.
Yes, Joe.
Listen, I like that guy.
Yeah.
Let me show you something.
400.
All right, sorry, I got sidetracked. To my ADD. This one should be an easy bet for Kumar if it's checked to him. One does bet 1,000, and that's 400.
Oh, wow. That was one of my first pictures on Facebook.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I met him at
It's
Green
like you
Park.
guys dating or something.
No, I met him,
Wow, that's a nice picture.
I met him, let's see, he won in 2005. So maybe like 3 or 4 years after that, in Vegas.
Oh, okay. Did you play with
Rachel,
I played here.
Rachel talking about her running with Joe Hashem.
That was my first.
She has some pretty cool photos with a bunch of poker
Does he have a sponsor?
poker.
His money.
He does.
He has a sponsor.
Because he won, there is some type of sponsorship from WSOP for the year. I don't know what it is, but there are events that you
Rachel
have to
goes
pay.
from
There are
talking
events
about
that
spending
you
time with
pay.
Joe Hashem to
Pay the first bullet into.
the current reigning WSOP champion.
It's like winning, Miss America.
Dan Weinman is actually an employee of RF Poker, and he does from time to time stop into Game Theory and plays a little poker with us. So it's kind of cool to be able to play with the current world champ. Really down to earth guy, super smart. Like I said, down to earth.
He offered, but they didn't accept.
The guy who came in third said no.
Oh, wow.
Split like $1 million.
I mean, can you believe it? They leave it on the they gotta be people who gamble level. I mean, yeah, even at this level, I think it is crazy not to joke because it is basically bingo.
Well, so from what I understand, when you win a big tournament like that, like normally you already have backers, you already have have a group that, funds a lot of your stuff, so you gotta pay them. But also, you do it so that people have action, even after you get in the money. You sell off some of your action, so it offsets your taxes. Yeah.
So there's a lot
'Cause
involved.
you can either pay taxes on $12.1 million or you can pay taxes on like $3 million. I mean,
So the bank,
when you
Just taking a second here to let the table talk come through while we wait on the next hand.
I thought casino automatically takes it off.
Sometimes the casinos will take 10%. Depends on what state it is.
Yeah, this is where you get to see the 10-minute delay. Rachel and I hanging out talking to Red Rum. Joseph, as you just let you know, sweating all day coming in from work.
You're going to put him in first. 18.
Jumping in on the 8 seat, number 7 of our 9. I think the only 2 players that didn't show up tonight are Ralph and, once again, using poker nicknames, I apologize for not knowing your real name, Mr. Hemoglobin. We do have a hard cutoff tonight of 9:05 to get in.
Chip out there, but I beat the bunch.
But Mr. Red Rum did make it in time to participate. Professor, pick up where he left off. Expect this one to go in the muck. I don't like this one quite as much as Ace Baby, or obviously Ace in a Face. I like that a little bit better. Ace 7, Ace 8. Probably the one where I don't like. You think, that being said, I do like Kumar's defend here with Ace 5. Under the gun raise is pretty strong. Yeah, Professor once again flopping the best of it. I expect, based on patterns, probably 1,200. 18. I prefer this sizing to my 12. Straight draw, flush draw out there. And lots of cards like Jack 10. Jack 10's a good one. Pairs with backdoor flush draws. So 18, maybe even up to 24 to defend against those kind of things. Definitely a scary board, scarier than I initially thought. One of the things you try to do with poker is always keep evaluating and reevaluating things and learning lessons.
Well, they might be playing for more, or points for,
And just kind of eavesdropping in on table conversation, it sounds like Hemoglobin and Ralph had a previous appointment with another poker league. We do encourage people to get out there, play all the different leagues, make friends, learn to play poker in different environments. And it sounds like they had a previous engagement. Chunky bet here with pocket fours. Alex, looks like we'll call them small victories. Picking up 1,000. Easy way, uncontested. I have mixed thoughts on the shove there. in some ways it kind of negates what you might do later with, say, ace, unless you're going to do the same thing with aces or kings if you're just going to jam. But also it's one of those when you can pick up 10% of your stack uncontested, never a bad thing. And some of that, sometimes it's nice to just kind of use that to get back on track.
I wanted to take you out yesterday in the game, but not the fun.
I took myself out. Honestly, I took myself out. I just want to play so bad. Just for them, listen, move.
Scan your cards one more time, Doug. People. Can you scan your... Nope, okay, good. I figured it out.
All right, Alex. You see, this is where it's kind of tricky with your fours because now this raise looks super strong
Two cards.
because you used what is essentially a better but weaker hand to jam.
There was 6 of hearts. Yeah. Oh, 6 of hearts?
Doug, I think he's gonna call here. This is kind of a middling hand for me. That can't if you have a. It's always funny to talk about like this. If you have a raise fold plan, I think if you're gonna put in a raise, since you got 22,000, you can put in a raise to probably 19, 2,000, something where you can fold if somebody jams behind you. It's tricky because Alex has that size that you may feel like you're committed if he jams over you re-raise. That's where I'd be hesitant. So this is a hand, as nitty as it might be, I might just dump this one. I don't want players behind me to pick up on dead money.
No. It's not showing up there. If it doesn't show when you put the cards out there, you might have to hit misfield and scan everybody's card. I'm not.
So scan no?
So,
All right, Dougie Fresh.
so Doug is going to go with the call. Like I said, this is a hand where I would truly, in the moment, gonna be perplexed with what I want to do, and a lot of it's based on position and stack sizes.
That's what I thought. Could just be
But if I was going to play King Jack here, I kind of want to raise to get rid of everybody behind me.
Alex raised it. You can just shuffle it.
I'm going to feel pot committed. And so one thing Alex has done here is create a pretty big pot out of position. Out of position on half the field.
make sure it's the cards that you see. Okay. Perfect.
And King, this is workout. This is where back to if Doug had been a little more aggressive, it's going to be check. Kumar's on the button. I mean, she's how to take this one. Doug is definitely going to bet. I expect him to bet around. I'm going to get it. 25. Chunky. Kumar is one of those. I think he has to call because if you play 9-7, your flop will win. They fold. What are you doing? Kind of wouldn't work. Bunch just. Kumar should be ready to just put a hefty bet here, no matter what Doug does on the turn. And not really the card that he was looking for. Doug, I don't know why Doug bet tiny there. This is interesting. This one may go check. And Kumar may put in a bet. Kumar's got to bet big. There we go. And it's not going to work. It's just bad timing for Kumar. And Doug pulling in a big one. I like the play by Kumar. I think situationally that was one just not going to work. But you know, and I'm saying this from just even information for myself. You know, kind of hyping myself up. Put in that big bet. It is one where it might. I'm going to say might. 'Cause this is all player dependent. Might have worked if when Doug bet the 1,000 on the flop, you had turned your semi-bluff into a complete and utter bluff on the turn. That way you could set yourself up for a river jam. Once again, player dependent, may not have worked, but on the same note, I think you set up the hand a little bit better.
That is correct.
I'm going to root an ace-king man today.
1,500.
15. Sizing up just a little bit. Kumar, we'll call it Kumar tilt. But Kumar is a streaky, kind of feel rush player. And it's never a bad thing to get this heads up in position, but I think
Once their hands have been folded, then you could stack a million chips on their spot. It's not a somebody's got to make change. Danny Fresh? 4 and 2. 4 and 2. Okay. Right that way.
I like that.
and this Kumar's not really a tilty player, but he's got to be kind of tilty playing 10 deuce. This is safe. Flop for Honorud. Check. Would have liked to have seen a small bet. And passive poker. This is going to be won by ace high. Yeah, it looks like he feels like ace high is good.
You got that firefly hand.
Yeah, see, that's not how you do it. That's how you do it.
Drop it hard. Back it up hard. Use that button.
That's not I would have been bold.
So for me,
Now, one thing Kumar is really good about is taking his short stack and running it back up. He's definitely not afraid to mix it up with hands. 10 deuce was, I would say, a little on the loose side, but really, really on the loose side. I would have rather seen him just pick the better spot, or you really have to, if you're going to play a weak hand and rely on your skills rather than the cards, you need to have put a bet in there at some point with 10 high.
Come on, dealer. Been folding for long.
listen, Bob. You kick players out to be here. Come on.
I mean, not me though, you know. You gotta take your.
I got my favorites. You gotta get up there.
Yeah.
But you won't
Bob,
find me
if
in
you
here.
go on the
Maybe
app,
Yeah.
where
I tell you anything you want.
you click on the icon for the picture in the left corner and then hit edit, you can upload any picture from your camera roll.
Okay. No, I can do that.
Yeah, let's get a photo up there.
31. 31 to play.
Let's see.
Oh, welcome to the game, sir. Glad you could make it.
Welcome to the game.
1 minute remaining.
Gave him 3 dice.
Professor. Competition.
Once again, AD kicked in. Looks like Red Rum has taken the
I should have waited.
3-bet. Ooh, we got a new overlay talking about a 3-bet. All right. kind of starts to set the tone
Might get 6 in.
that he might be late, but he's not late to the party.
Play pocket sixes.
All right, blinds will be up next hand. Next hand. Last hand at 2 and 4.
One of the cool things about not only, well, being a commentator, but also playing here at Game Theory is being able to go back and watch all of our live streams. We do live stream 3 days a week, all action on our 3 internal tables.
Read as a small, and then that makes your job harder.
And it's kind of nice to be able to go back and watch players and, you know, use that as a learning tool for yourself, but also to pick up on little tells and tendencies of other players. One thing is really, really nice about being the commentator is it forces me to do that. Sit here for a couple hours and kind of watch how everyone plays. Now, if I could translate that to using it against them, more power to me.
Now we're transitioning more toward
Mala correctly assessing that his 6 is good here.
There you go. It was A7 offsuit.
All right, 3-6, 3-6.
Stealing is against the law.
Everybody knows
You don't need to hide it.
I can't hire anybody.
That pair, everybody has that.
I don't really know what to do. Like, since COVID, we hired everybody else. Just now
You like the position?
hired
Yeah.
employee back to hourly, and first week working 60 hours.
Ooh, had to take me a long yawn break on that one. Not for the poker action, but man, that stayed up late doing some work last night. Professor switching it up a little bit. His ace deuce suited. One where as Kumar starts to get shallower and shallower, I can get behind using ace deuce as a limp. Definitely don't want, you know, Kumar's under the gun limp to then become a limp. We raise all in. And you're probably going to fold ace deuce even though you think you might have the best hand. Once again, so I'm sounding like a broken record. Professor hits top pair, but he's a little bit outkicked by Doug. I think Professor's going to bet about quarter pot here. 14, 1500, maybe 12. 1200, look at that. And Doug says he bets 2000, raises to 24. I don't know if ace 8 is a raise here. Ace 8, I think I want to keep it small. Just in case. Now, with that coming in, gut shot plus top pair, I think he can start betting pretty strong. And he got there. Something Professor's been doing all night. Now you have to say, you know, with the check raise, you know, I would be careful with bottom 2 here. 17 sizing, probably targeting exactly what Doug has. But when Doug puts in a raise on the flop, it has to be mildly cautious making cautiously
There you go. That's hot.
cautious with making 2 pairs, especially with the bottom pair on the river. That in a limp spot like that, Doug could have had any of those other weird 2 pairs, almost definitely containing an ace.
He's always showed out.
I think I can get the okay to hire that. PD prep.
You said you moved like the sheets around. Is that what you did for work? Or what was your job? What did you do? You said you moved different about the sheets around. Is that
Oh yeah. Well, so our company, we're the largest. Company's the largest distributor.
And then 800 like mom and pop gas stations throughout the state.
Then we got Circle K's.
sorry? You changed?
No, so I'm the regional manager of a distribution company. We have several.
And it looks like Kumar is all in with ace jack or king queen. Doug calls with the ace jack. First player at risk.
PLS, crack that hard.
Does not appear to be a good flop.
Good play, late, sir.
And good run out for Doug.
Back up card. Now we're gonna eliminate.
Elimination.
And as you
Terminator done.
so unceremoniously announces Kumar's demise.
He's done it to all of us.
One night you can
Hey, watch over there by yourself.
True.
All right, you are
He's
gonna
aggressive.
flip
That's
lines.
yeah, he's
There you go.
very
Zone it.
more than that is Shatter. Shatter is very aggressive. He doesn't like to fold jack deuce. I mean, he likes, he's like, I don't know, man. It doesn't matter what it is. He doesn't like to fold.
Bunch of easy folds here. Bala. This is probably a fold. I don't want to keep this. If you're going to defend with 10-3, keep it to just the suited variety. It's hard to say. With the min raise, it might be borderline, but I would personally keep it to the suited kind. And you swap open ended. I want to check back from Bala here. Well, definitely not getting. I mean, 12's not getting it done. And just like that. Poker is easy. Oh, we're looking for chop outs. Ooh, that might be a bad one. Professor is going to put in a hefty bet here. 3,500. All right, we're with a one-liner out there, it's hard to get paid. So I put in a chunky bet. 96. Look at Professor and I thinking alike. And Bala's got to know that 2 pair is borderline here at best. I think this is just one where you just turn and run.
Number.
Yes, straight.
Straight.
7, 8, 9, 10, jack.
Rachel moved over there, barking instructions while also catching the yawning bug like me. And the rich get richer. Just at the time where I'm like, I wouldn't play the 10-3 for various reasons. It works out.
Someone set me up on Miller Lite. 12 prices Miller Lite to change your night.
Last time you guys played.
The cards start coming away if you get the dealer Miller Lite.
Oh, true. I think it's
Drinking?
it's hard to drink.
You want me to get you a Miller Lite? I'm gonna get you a Miller Lite. You want a Miller Lite?
No, she's trying to buy it.
I'll get you a Miller Lite. I don't want you drinking and driving. That's the thing. I'm a huge advocate for not drinking and driving.
One there never hurt nobody. Two starting stacks.
Well, like I said, Professor out to a hefty chip lead. Alex is going to start once again back. I think where the pocket four is kind of handcuff shoe. How you played him is he's 10-8. Now if you make him harder and harder to play, I think 10-8. You just let this one go. It's going to be super tempting. Nice. Good. Picks a better spot. Like I said, Honorud. Ace King Magnet. This one he's going big. Now, for Bala here, I don't think Deuce's the shove is crazy. Honorud can be on the tighter side. Look at that. Thinking on the same page. I think if he had any more than that, probably couldn't do it. And this is going to be a snap call. A reluctant snap call. But both players doing nothing.
Raise it up. You got a clap.
I cannot see hands now.
Neither player did anything wrong here. I think you can target if Honorud was opening, suited connectors. This play works because he's going to let him go. Obviously, with him being near the top of his range with Ace King, not going anywhere, but I do like using your deuces to try to pick up a decently sized pot.
No, we don't know. We don't know. You gone.
This is the first time I'm connected on the flops the entire night.
He's not lying. I've been here for all of them.
Listen, I haven't won any yet.
This is the fourth or fifth time I'm running it.
It does feel one of the, for people that have been playing for a while, it does feel like one of those hands where you're like, oh my gosh, it never hits for me. So he is telling the truth when he says that's the first time it's hit for him tonight.
Thank you. Tonight is your night.
Alex, our short stack, outlasts another one.
It's written.
Red Rum holding about his starting stack. I was going to make a comment earlier that he was in third place just by sitting down, and just based on card distribution and chip distribution, he's still in fourth place after essentially just sitting down.
14 for the bus, so.
You said 16.
You said 16.
Where was the binding?
So it's okay.
What happened?
So he drops 15 first, but then says 16.
5 minutes remaining.
Table first was
Where was the binding?
If 2 chips hit the table, and then you said something, it's 1,500.
I'll take that.
I thought he said 16, I see what's wrong.
It's okay. I mean, I'm okay with whatever you guys want. 15, 16 doesn't.
We can do 16. We'll do 16. Just this once.
That
I'm watching you though. I'm watching
I
you.
know.
Yeah, Spencer putting on his dealer goggles. But I see this one where talk about one hand removed for King Jack. The deuce's hand on route probably lets it go, and it shows here that if paying attention to players that he does have a King Jack raise in him, which he should have. But at the same time, it's kind of just unfortunate for Bala that he was up at the top of his range.
Enough information to see what all craziness is going on right here. I think it looked good. Get big slick again? Get big slick again?
Almost.
There you go.
Look at that. One of the things you find with everyone knowing that you're being live streamed is you might be tempted to tell a little fib there, but you get to kind of airbrush the truth a little bit. He was super honest when he said close.
You double scan your cards for me, Doug. Sweet, thank you.
Good luck, sir.
And
You guys said that I gotta go. Gotta go to the bathroom. Can I go to the bathroom? Can I go to the bathroom?
You won the hand.
Yep.
Oh, you want to?
You won. Yeah.
Okay.
If you can hold it for 20 minutes, is when we're on break.
No, man, I can't. I gotta go now.
Alex pulling the old guy.
You get the button, so.
2 minutes is the case may be.
Yeah.
Alex pulling the old guy card. Can't hold it 20 minutes.
Just like the
Right, right.
Yeah.
You're the button, now would be the time.
It was a good call. It was a good call. Pocket clean. You'll see it.
It's amazing how much our bladder expands when we have pop kings.
Everybody's gonna know.
Nobody has to go to the bathroom anymore once you're dealt the Cowboys.
I know I'm good, not that good.
I believe in you. Your royal flush will come.
Maze. I like this sizing. Actually, take that back. Be critical, non-critical. You're gonna be playing out of the small blind, either limp or put in the chunky 3x bet.
1 minute remaining.
And we're gonna miss. You might call one here after a straight draw, overcard. Player, and you feel if your opponent is getting frisky with spades, but easy around here, just fold it. Rachel looks like she picked up something that's not a Sprite. Must have been recommended by the staff here at Firefly. One of the things they have here, if you've never had it, which is essentially the Indian version of Coke called Thumbs Up. It's actually a pretty tasty cola. I'm a information nerd, so once I saw it here, I did a little back research, and it turns out to be something to do with Indian law. And when Coca-Cola was being sold in India, that they were going to have to reveal their ingredients or something along that line. So Coke pulled out of the market, and Thumbs Up is the product that moved in to take its place. Like I said, it's pretty tasty, so if you ever get a chance, grab you a can.
That's the name of the song. You guys are 48.
All right, 20 more minutes before we hit second break. And for myself, 20 minutes of a much needed break.
Yeah, it's an 18 minute. I wasn't kidding when I said 22.
We have to get through this level.
It's always after 8
18 minutes till there's break. We have to get through before 8.
That was that one. Yeah. Says it.
Play 1 hour.
Top left corner. Yeah.
Play an hour and a break. Play an hour and a break. Then play an hour
Small blind. 400.
until there's a winner.
All right, let's see. Honorud and Professor.
Blind at 48.
Honorud being our most aggressive player left. It's not fair to Red Rum. He doesn't have that many. Alex kind of has to keep all of his big hands balanced. He may just want to jam this one a little over 10 bigs. There he goes. It's always nice. It's in from a player perspective that they kind of keep the same MO. If you're going to do it the same way each time. 4s, ace, king, kings. Just until you get back out of what obviously he's considering is shove or fold.
It's a bluff. It's a bluff. Hold it.
Alex might be bluffing with the best hand here, trying to goat Professor in. And just shakes his head. Now it looks like Alex is phoning a friend, bragging about his short stack accomplishments.
That's at least they were connected this time.
Let's see if
I see. King 5, King 6, Queen 4. Let's wait for the aces. Definitely what happened to me. Rare. Definitely what happened up here on Saturday.
Taylor Swift.
If you guys haven't figured out yet, Rachel has an obsession with Taylor Swift. Be a spot on the wall. I was trying to get it off my computer. Rachel must be looking up her next Taylor Swift announcement. Anyone who's been around us long enough knows that you bet 22 Rachel is going to chime in with a hefty 22, but much more angelic than my non-singing voice. But I'm here for the poker and the commentary, not the singing.
Saturday. Although sometimes we'll have several tournaments each game.
That's probably like 3 forms that are used on Saturday, and then 111, 4, and then the one that's going to break at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, they're gonna play like 40 games
My new professor.
in 11 days.
Looks like it's super tempting for Red Rome. Alex, that's strange. I'm never a big fan of anything in the small blind, so I might dump this unless it was connected. 10-4. It's always hard to get paid unless you flop 2 pair. Just like that, he flops a gut shot. Not much for anybody on this one. Everybody playing. And Professor Townsend with what he expects to be the worst hand, and he is correct, so it's probably prudent to bet. One thing using here, it's sizing is super consistent. This is probably would have bet if he had middle or bottom pair. He does bet a little stronger with top pair. Alex with an optimistic gut shot call. There's one I don't know how to. Because first I was confused. I was like, why is Professor's out across the top? It's because he has the worst hand, but you're gonna stay on the gas pedal like he has the best hand. No power to him. That once he starts telling a story, that he's sticking to it. Not much would have let it go, but he might.
Curiosity, kill the cat.
I think he thought something was up. He was correct, but Professor staying on the gas makes it impossible for Alex to continue with his gut shot.
Give it an extra shot.
It's always nice to be the person the TD comes to color up. Or in the same respect, if you're playing in a tournament, we'll call it quote-unquote real setting, that it's never a bad thing to have the TD come over and ask you to color the table up. Means you're doing something right.
machine. It just happened that way.
It's close call.
You're good. On you, Professor. For your parts to burn.
Professor with pocket nines. Gonna be an open here. Let's see, what's he picking? Raised to 2K. Ooh, this might be a demise hand. Ace King, I think you have to run with this one. It's never a fun position having pretty good hand when the chip leader has opened, and I think he knows what he has to do here. Put the maximum pressure back on Professor. I think this is the right play. Alex giving it a long, hard look at Ace-8 suited. This is probably going to end up the muck as a 3-bet behind you. It's one of the... He might have actually played for all of it if Red Rum hadn't have already made the move. Just to know that you're gambling. You're essentially gambling with one of these two guys. The fact that it's suited is probably what's giving him some pause here. But I think he's going to make a disciplined laydown. Doug, slightly easier decision. On a route on his own. That's a tell already that he's got shitty cards. If he hadn't looked at them. And Professor not going to go anywhere.
21 in the rocket.
Always do that first because it could fold and it causes more problems for you. Always.
And we have a classic race for 32K.
Put 2,000 back, 200 in there.
There it is. That's what it was.
Good luck, Alex.
Thank you, thank you. Let's see
All
what
right.
peaks out here. See if we
On
can
15-7. Yep. 32K pot. Get right back into it. Like you say, you got to win races. Well, that's not really what you're looking for. I'm trying to running aces.
Oh!
It wouldn't happen anyway. The nines.
Yeah, 4. No.
Yeah, 4 and you would have bought.
Those are a king. Give me that.
You can't stop the professor. He said classes in session.
The double shuffle did not work.
All right, I guess we're
I'm glad I
always
folded
do
my
that.
ace suit.
Elimination.
Professor, do you sell your seat?
And then there were 4. As I hopefully stated earlier, the players tonight are playing in a free roll.
I need it.
Kind of the reward for patroning the establishment, patroning RF Poker, patroning Game Theory. There's a little thank you we throw each month for our top 9 players. Quick little $150, winner take all, if they so choose. It's only winner take all.
Yeah, to go.
And look at old Alex. He's been short stacked almost the entire time and still sneaking along. It's one of those where, as much as a short stack turbo tournament that we play here, as long as you keep the other players within reach, you got a fighting chance. I would say one double up, but it looks like a double up and another half double up after that, and Alex will be right back in this one.
Gotta get
5 minutes remaining. 5 minutes remaining.
All right, pocket fives for Alex. This is going to be the hill we're going on, buddy. And picking up dead money, and with the professor who is definitely not letting it go for 7,800.
7,800. Yes, sir. 7,800.
Get some thought to it, but I expect a call here. Professor doing professor things. You know, your heart's got to start beating pretty fast when.
Now hit the all in, hit the all. There you go.
Once you have pocket fives and you see the chip leader start cutting out chips, your heart starts to race. I won't say a classic race, but he has a head on this one. Spades in the professor's favor. And it runs out clean for Professor and another knockout. Say, unfortunately for Professor, this is not a knockout tournament, so we can only give him kudos and high fives for taking players out. Nothing of monetary or emotional value. And then there were 3. Become a broken record, but Professor has been putting on a show tonight.
Can you give me 5,100, Professor?
Once again, we're going to give a big shout out to Spencer for stepping in after he came to hopefully play in this tournament, but he will we'll put out a prediction out there. Spencer will qualify for the next one, and he won't have to deal for us. But it's always nice to see our volunteer dealers getting in there, getting some training, getting some work in. All right, you want to see a short stack's turn it on. Professor, with another pocket pair. What are we going to do with this guy?
Yes, sir. Goes 2,400.
And raise and take it. Feeling like a broken record, talking about being a broken record, but Professor is keeping on them. This is where we know as poker players it can start to get not frustrating, but you feel like you got to make something happen. But tell both of our shorter stacks, you know, even with the big blind ante, you got 20-ish bigs to play with. Don't feel desperate just yet. Save that for 1-2.
1 minute remaining.
And well, it's like we have a minute coming on our break. Chunky raise by Doug. I see I like this 3x, 3.5x. Probably good sizing. Defending, got to defend a lot wider than sometimes we might be comfortable with when we got big blind ante in play. All spades. It's no one. So I actually like Doug's continuation bet here. Got a gut shot. Keep telling the story that you have the best hand. Big stretch. and it's
just get up and float.
All right, we are back from break.
Are you good? You're in the big blind for 1,000.
You see, we've colored up the blacks.
Part of learning is doing underwater math skills, which you're at like 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, and you have to take off your mask and clear it. So that way if you get kicked underwater, then you know how to clear it. And that's failed a lot of my students just because, I mean, I mostly taught Boy Scouts, but they just couldn't.
Spencer, from what I understand, he does work at the Georgia Aquarium. Sounds like he does stuff actually in the aquarium. So always cool to find out more information about people that come out and play with us.
Do you know how to dive, Rachel?
Do not.
Scuba dive.
No, but I would love
Alrighty.
So it's not governed by a government or anything like that. It's governed by individual agencies. And that's the most expensive part of the e-learning. It's like $400 for that, and then it's just instructing. Very interested. Oh, they're really good. Have you ever had one? Yeah, they are. They're delicious. They can snap you
I'd say this is one of those days when even when Professor doesn't have it, he has it. Open-ended Doug not slowing down. I will say, a lot of these guys have absolutely no fear of overcards. And swing and a miss for Professor Doug, staying on it with pocket deuces. I know I would have checked back, but not Doug. And just keep betting. Five overcards in a dream. Nice hand, sir.
Oh, that's his blind, right?
That's his new line. This is the old line.
No, it says no Andy. He plays the Andy.
Yeah, so that was it.
I gave him 100.
I gave him my, he ordered, I gave him my 500.
So yeah, you got the ante plus your blind plus the small one.
You want my
That's
small?
right. That's right. Okay, thank you.
There you go. Put it together. Real.
Let's all give Rachel a shout out for working extremely hard teeing this evening.
Rangers out. Every minute time, I can double one of you guys out for it. You can right back even with you. Can't be complacent.
I actually give her a hard time. She's probably the hardest working, most liked tournament director in all of the Atlanta area. She runs a great game, and I'm not just saying that because she pays me to be her wife or to be her husband. Always has players' best interest at heart. Always making sure they have a great experience. Ooh, Professor. All right, setting the little trap. He knows Doug is aggressive. Ooh. Doug checks back. We're not going to fall for it. All right, Professor's going to start betting here. Very draw heavy board. 6,500. Doug with hopes and dreams here. It says drawing dead. Nothing like getting your opponent to put money in drawing dead. Let's go super tiny. 15. Hefty bet. Oh. Got to pull in Professor's cards. Boop, boop. Right on top, nice and easy. Once again, shout out to Spencer for stepping in and getting in some more dealer hours. It is always appreciated. Looks like we've caught the eye of a couple of patrons from the restaurant coming in and check things out. It is, whenever we're playing cards, the area is always open to the public. If you guys want to come and check out the action, if you want to look at things before you dip your toes into the proverbial poker water, you are always welcome to come in and watch our players do their thing. Went all in. I approve. And pick up. Never hurts to pick up your own blinds and antes. Plus some dead money of a limper. Honored's a good judge of when he's got to try to fight his way back in. Being probably halfway through 500 and 1,000, you are starting to get a little desperate. 16 bigs, and unfortunately for him, our next blind level is 1,000, 2,000 with a 2,000 big blind ante. That's going to eat away to 16K pretty quick, so I think he picked a great spot to try to start pulling himself up. Doug reluctantly lets go at 6-5. Honorud all in.
Same two cards I had last time.
Professor with some Hollywood showboat TV time. We always want to feel that a player is up to something, but at the same time, Queen 5 is just not the hand to fight back with. And it's always interesting. Now, sometimes this is easier when you have more chips. It's easier to be aggressive, but you know, Professor has been our most aggressive pre-flop player, and in turn, he's got the most chips. So, kind of shows you that aggression in the right places pays off. Yeah, it's starting to get tricky. Those pseudo connectors look really, really nice to start off. And from a solid strategy standpoint, we're going to see rinse and repeat raises out of Professor. Jack 4 is a little wide. Oh, autofocus is not doing us any favors. Once again, Professor getting the best of it. He lets Doug catch up on the turn, which might be Doug's demise. Oh, and Doug puts in a hefty raise. Sometimes I need to pay attention to what's going on. Player is all in. Doug doesn't even wave the white flag. He just puts all his chips in there. Doug's probably ready to go. Effectively handing Honorud second place. Okay. You know, it has been one of those nights where Professor has basically had it each and every time. And Deuce on the Rivers secures another elimination. He said, unfortunately for Professor, tonight is just a regular tournament, not one of our RF poker game theory, not dealer appreciation, but member appreciation tournaments where we do have a bounty tournament. So looks like Professor's putting in his due diligence, getting ready for that. Getting ready for that tournament by just completely mowing down this final table. Only table. And this is definitely a lot of work to do. Honorud's going to be sitting at about 20 bigs, looking at 10 bigs here in about 5 minutes. He's going to have to definitely find a place to just get it in there and start getting back in this one. Best of luck to you, sir.
So it's opposite of the button on heads up.
Yeah, you deal away from the button.
Sorry, I'm confused.
Just messing with you. Just a joke. Just a joke.
Yeah. Well, just always remember, no matter what the hand is, button always gets the last card. It's true at heads up, true at a full table. Professor puts in a chunky raise. Ooh, this might be the one. Or Honorud is all in. pretty standard play here. Interesting. Professor is not letting him get away with. Honorwood's gonna like this.
Oh, no. Oh, no, we both hit diamonds.
All right, our autofocus is going crazy. Oh, 10 for the double up. Honorwood has got to start feeling much better about his chances now. It's always a little scary to be all in, but ace 10, ace 10 suited, heads up. Yeah, I'm going for it every time, regardless of the outcome. And that'll put you back up in double up range. That, you know, it's always nice when you feel like you've started to pull out of complete desperation. You know, 37K, 90K. You know, that's when we're another double up and you're the chip leader. King 6. Now, this is one kind of, I'd love to see a limping strategy. It's going to get you a chance to, and Professor was limping there, but if, you know, one way you get back at a player like Professor, who's been very aggressive all night, is you're trying to just slowly chip away at him. Now, that being said, if he's going to call it off with 3-4 suited, maybe you try to get him back in one big chunk. But, you know, I think what you do is you can employ a limping strategy in that you try to use some of his aggression against him. Unfortunately for most of these players tonight, Professor's just had it every single time. They might be negotiating a chop. It might have been a hard sell about 5 minutes ago. Now, I think you can throw out $50 each, play for the other 50. I guess that's where I would start if I was Honorwood. Professor, I might be a little bit cocky and not even throw a chop out there yet. But I don't blame anyone for bringing it up. All right, hefty raise. Bet on your spot, Professor. And bet and take it. Now, opposite of what I think Honorwood should do, Professor definitely should have a raise almost any two-card strategy, being the chip leader. You know, both players are trying to effectively to do different things. That if Honorwood limps in protecting his big hands and Professor gets overly aggressive, he can come back over the top with his even semi-premium, but his premium hands. Whereas if he tries to raise every time, what happens there is you get stuck with raising and Professor coming over the top.
No, I totally understand. But it's just, I've never heard that before.
It's always up to the chip stack.
You know, the one.
Professor's like, give me my money and the button.
No, I'm always for the low stack.
But it's one of those where it's like looking at the two different stacks. I know it can be disheartening, but you know, just as a low stack, keep your head in there. You're actually a lot closer than you think. Like I said, this is back to, you know, you double up, you've got 75K, and Professor's been chunked down to about 65, 55. You know, it's one of those where you're not as in a bad a shape as it feels. Looks like our spectators are inching closer to the table. And I need a clock on this overlay again. the ability to pan and tilt the camera so I can see how much time is left. That sounded like blinds up, so ask and you shall receive. 6-5. Now see, this is where. All right. Well, that's not fair. Oh, this whole evening has been almost not fair. Now this. All right. Makes it very tempting with little min raise. And I wonder if the ace will slow Professor down. It really isn't. It does slow him down. Don't think he's buying that he has an ace. And Honorud's not going to be happy about this. I think he could have checked and seen a free card, maybe put his all in on the turn. King's just too much for Professor to let go of. You know, it always seems like when you have kings, it is an ace magnet. But to that point, good read on the situation that maybe he felt that if Honorud did have an ace, he already would have put it in pre-flop. So way not to be kind of dissuaded by the ace out there. And we have a winner. If I go back and look at the tape, I think that is a wire-to-wire win, at least out of the blocks very fast wire-to-wire win. So congratulations, sir. Well deserved. Much thanks to Spencer for putting in hard work as our co-dealer with Rachel today, but I don't even know if we can call it being a co-dealer. I think she dealt for like one blind level. So once again, thanks for everyone coming out. See you on tomorrow night if you want to come play Atlanta Poker Club, but we will see you on
But I mean, it says I got